Imagine a place with no white coats, no scalpels, no medicine. An invisible sanctuary, built deep within your consciousness, where the doctor is your own mind and the medicine is the infinite power of your spirit. The mental clinic opens its doors to reveal the self-healing manual through the divine mind, a sacred guide inspired by the wisdom of Joseph Murphy, where you will learn to heal from the root, not only the body but also the soul and the reality that surrounds you. Here, every thought is a prescription, every mental image a treatment, and every affirmation an injection of light and vitality. You will step into the art of conversing with your subconscious, programming it to expel pain, restore balance, and attract the fullness that has always been yours. Prepare to discover that your mind is a temple of inexhaustible health, and that when it aligns with the divine mind, no illness can withstand it. This is not just a text. It is the master key to open the most powerful room in the universe, the perfect clinic that has always been inside you. Beyond the scalpel, beyond the clinical diagnosis, beyond the most sophisticated device, there exists a healing power that belongs to no hospital, yet operates with infallible precision in every human being. This book does not seek to replace conventional medicine, nor compete with its advances. It seeks to reveal to you a deeper knowledge, an eternal wisdom residing within you, the active presence of the silent physician dwelling in your subconscious. Every person, without exception, carries within them a mental clinic. It is an invisible sanctuary where three wondrous instruments operate: the sacred word, guided imagination, and living faith. When you consciously unite these three elements, you unleash regenerative forces capable of restoring tissues, balancing functions, and returning joy to the ailing soul. This work was born to teach you how to activate that inner center of healing, with method, with discipline, and with reverence. The dual purpose of this manual is clear. First, to offer a practical guide for those moments when external medicine is unavailable or proves insufficient. Second, to show that the harmonious fusion of medical science and spiritual science is not only possible but desirable, for it yields the highest fruits. When the outer physician and the inner physician work in full agreement, the miracle becomes routine. Here you will not find empty promises or mystical phrases without substance. You will find exercises, affirmations, visualizations, and real testimonies. And above all, you will find a certainty that you can heal, because within you dwells the intelligence that designed your cells, and that intelligence responds when you speak to it with faith, with a clear image, and with purposeful words. That silent, firm, wise voice is your true physician. Listen to it. The mental clinic of self-healing, based on the teachings of Joseph Murphy. We have noticed that more than 80% of those who visit our channel are not subscribed. You can support this project by pressing the subscribe button and giving the video a like. Thank you for inspiring us to continue creating more and better content for you. Are you ready to transform your life? Chapter 1. The Consulting Room of the Subconscious. Within you lies a secret hospital, an invisible clinic, a sanctuary of wisdom that never rests, neither by day nor by night. This clinic has no white hallways nor ringing bells, yet it is equipped with the highest spiritual technology that exists, the healing intelligence of your subconscious mind. You need no medical card nor social security number to enter it. The only requirement is to recognize its existence, accept its power, and learn to activate its mechanisms through faith, the spoken word, and guided imagery. Your subconscious is the perfect servant. It does not make mistakes, it does not doubt, it does not reason as your conscious mind does. It simply executes. It is like a faithful gardener who cultivates every seed you plant in its fertile soil through your emotional thought. If you sow disease, anxiety, or condemnation, it will produce it. If you sow harmony, health, and well-being, it will also produce that. For its nature is neither moral nor critical but receptive. Its sole function is to precisely reproduce whatever you have imprinted upon it with consent. The psalmist says, "I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret." Psalm 139, 14-15. Here the prophet acknowledges the active presence of that divine intelligence that shapes the body from the invisible depths. That same intelligence is what you can now invoke, at this very moment, to schedule a medical appointment with yourself. The conscious mind, for its part, functions like the physician who examines, observes symptoms, takes notes, and makes a diagnosis. But it is the subconscious that performs the real surgery. It is the invisible surgeon. It works in silence, like the growth of a flower or the healing of a wound. It does not announce itself, yet it transforms. It does not give speeches, yet it restores. Therefore, you need not be afraid if you find yourself far from hospitals, if you live in a remote village, if medicines are scarce, or if human diagnoses have failed. Within you is an active clinic ready to operate on you with the invisible hands of divine love. Are you willing to register as a patient? To do so, I suggest you prepare your mental admission form. This is a symbolic act, but a profoundly effective one. Take a sheet of paper and write down 3 essential elements: the symptom that afflicts you, the dominant emotion that accompanies it, fear, anger, sadness, resentment, an affirmation of self-acceptance, for example, back pain with emotional burden from excessive responsibility. I lovingly accept myself and release all tension. My back is strong, flexible, and joyful. This record is your way of presenting your case to the great inner physician. You are the one seeking counsel, but also the counselor. You are the patient and the therapist. You are the altar and the priest. Now imagine that you enter your prayer chamber. This space could be your bed, a quiet corner, or simply a moment of inner stillness. Sit with your spine straight. Gently close your eyes and enter a 5-minute exercise of quietness. This simple act, repeated daily, opens the doors to the healing power. You need not recite elaborate formulas. Just say, "I am in the presence of the life that created me. I relax, I surrender, I trust." Remain in silence, breathing calmly. Your subconscious listens more in silence than in noise. It responds better to serenity than to desperation. Understand this truth clearly. Every emotion you repeat intensely becomes a command. If you repeatedly feel fear, your subconscious obeys and begins to arrange symptoms compatible with fear. If you repeat an image of health, confidence, and well-being, it responds by producing the chemistry for it. That regeneration, that harmony, is as automatic as the eye's reflex to light or the heartbeat to emotion. Let me tell you the case of a woman who came to me saying, "Doctor, I have a bad heart. I can't even climb 2 steps without losing my breath." I asked her, "What do you think when you wake up in the morning?" She replied, "I hope I don't have another attack today." I explained that her conscious mind, with that daily expectation of illness, was imprinting an order upon her subconscious, which obediently reproduced the episode. I instructed her that before sleeping and upon waking, she should quietly repeat, "My heart beats with perfect rhythm, steady, harmonious. Divine wisdom sustains it. I am strong. I am safe. I am whole." She repeated this faithfully for 2 weeks. By the end of that time, she was climbing stairs without shortness of breath. Her inner clinic had performed the change. Wouldn't you also like to experience such transformation? Then act as a disciplined patient. Enter your inner hospital, record your case, fill out your admission form, prepare your prayer chamber. The consulting room of your subconscious is always open, and its healing power is unlimited. Remember, you are not alone. Your deeper mind is with you. The eternal physician dwells within you. Your word is his prescription. Your faith is his scalpel. Your mental image is his blueprint. Accept the consultation, begin the treatment. Persevere, for it is written, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." Jeremiah 33. Chapter 2. Diagnosis by Faith, Finding the Mental Cause. Above all medical science, there exists a higher wisdom, one that flows from within. It cannot be learned in universities, nor memorized from manuals. It is discovered through faith, sincere reflection, and the willingness to look within oneself with the inner lamp of the Spirit lit. This wisdom consists of discerning the mental cause of our physical ailments. For although many ignore this truth, every visible illness is the somatic expression of a sustained emotion. Nothing happens in the flesh that was not first an image in the mind, a tremor in the soul, a word spoken silently within the heart. Proverbs affirms it with medical precision. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. The term heart in the Bible refers to the inner mind, the emotional center of man. If you store there hatred, fear, resentment, or guilt, those forces will sooner or later manifest in some part of the body. Just as oil rises through a lamp's wick to feed the flame, so a contained emotion rises from the subconscious mind and feeds the symptom in the body. You can easily observe this if you pay attention. Resentment held for years eventually stiffens movement, affecting the joints. Constant fear, especially fear of the unknown, the future, or the judgment of others, translates into digestive spasms, ulcers, constipation, or colitis. Self-criticism, repeated day after day, burns the skin, producing eczema, hives, or chronic dermatitis. A sustained emotion becomes cellular language. The body listens to what the soul whispers. Therefore, if you truly wish to heal, it is not enough to apply ointments or take tonics. You must find and address the emotional cause. This is not a task for a single day, but neither is it unattainable. With faith, patience, and method, you can find the root. For that, I propose a simple 4-step procedure. This method has been tested by thousands of people in different circumstances, and its effectiveness lies in the sincere willingness of the practitioner to listen to the voice of their own soul. Step 1. Introspection. Seek a moment of solitude, turn off all external noise, close your eyes. Ask yourself softly, what emotion have I been feeling the most lately? What feeling has accompanied me since this symptom appeared? What situation or person is it linked to? Do not judge what arises, do not reject anything. Simply allow the answer to surface like a fish leaping from the depths of the lake. Sometimes a single word, a memory, or a scene is enough for the truth to be revealed. Step 2. Illuminating prayer. Once you suspect what the root emotion may be, ask divine intelligence to show you clearly. You may say, Light of God, illuminate my mind. Spirit of truth, show me the emotion I must heal. I open my soul to true vision. Then remain silent for a few minutes. The answer may come as an image, a sensation, or an inner certainty. Do not doubt. Accept the first impression, for the deep mind speaks without words, and its language is direct. Step 3. Automatic writing. Take pencil and paper. Write the following question. What is the emotional cause of my symptom? Then allow your hand to move freely. Do not think. Do not edit. Let the words arise without censorship. This practice, which I have taught for years, has revealed hidden truths more effectively than many rational analyses. What you write in this state is the voice of the subconscious speaking to you from within. Step 4. Confirming sign. Once the emotion is identified, ask divine wisdom for external confirmation. Say, if this is the emotion I must heal, give me today a clear sign. Then watch what happens during the day. It could be a conversation, a phrase in a book, a revealing dream, even a radio program. Infinite intelligence knows how to communicate its message. If the sign repeats or resonates strongly, accept it as valid. The emotion has been identified. Now the true healing can begin. To help you in this spiritual diagnosis, I have created what I call the stethoscope of consciousness. These are guiding questions you can use regularly. What hurts me more, what others have done to me, or what I reproach myself for? Is there someone I have not completely forgiven? What thought repeats most often in my moments of silence? What phrase would my body tell me if it could speak? What secret benefit do I gain from being ill? Attention, rest, avoidance. Whom do I unconsciously wish to punish with my illness? When used well, these questions act like a spiritual X-ray. They reveal what is hidden, unmask the emotion in disguise, and prepare the way for mental surgery. Because you cannot heal what you still justify. But when you see clearly, you can forgive, release, and let go, and that release is the most powerful medicine. Below, I include a table of basic correspondences between emotions and organs, adapted to today's language, without scientific pretension, but based on many observed cases. Liver, accumulated anger, repressed rage. Stomach, fear of the future, anticipatory anxiety. Lungs, deep sadness, unexpressed grief. Skin, shame, self-criticism. Heart, lack of love, emotional exhaustion. Kidneys, financial insecurity, fear of abandonment. Knees, pride, difficulty yielding or adapting. Back, sense of burden, excessive responsibilities. This map is not absolute, but it offers guidance. The important thing is not to memorize it, but to let it inspire you to observe yourself with sincerity. Remember, faith is the most precise diagnostic tool, because faith not only moves mountains, it also moves memories, emotions, and patterns. With faith, you can look at your wound without fear. You can recognize that the symptom is not your enemy, but a messenger. Pain is the voice of the soul that has not yet been heard. Do this work with devotion. It is not just another task, it is your spiritual consultation with yourself. Your body is the thermometer of your mind, your illness, the mirror of your thought. But you are more than all that. You are the doctor, the patient, and also the healer. When you find the root emotion and surrender it to divine love, healing begins. Chapter 3. Prescription of words, ground formulas for healing prayer. The spoken word, when uttered with faith, is medicine for the soul and electricity for the body. Every time you pronounce an affirmation with conviction, you are sending a current of energy to your cells, glands, and tissues. This is not exaggeration, it is law, and that law is autosuggestion. Everything you repeat with enough emotional charge and consistency eventually installs itself in the subconscious as an irrevocable command. Your body does not distinguish between a medical instruction and a spoken word if that word has been pronounced with full acceptance. This is why your tongue can be scalpel, balm, curse, or blessing. You choose its use. The Bible expresses it without ambiguity. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. This is not an empty promise, but an exact formula. Ask, believe, and receive. Whatever you ask for, including health, harmony, strength, and vitality, will be granted if your belief aligns with the reality you affirm. The obstacle is not in heaven nor in destiny, but in the way you formulate your request. Many prayers fail not for lack of faith, but because of incorrect wording. This is where the law of autosuggestion comes in. This law states that any mental idea you accept as true and repeat with enough emotional charge becomes your experience. It does not matter whether it is false or true. If you believe it and sustain it, the subconscious translates it into fact. Just as the seed does not distinguish whether the sower is wise or foolish, the inner mind does not evaluate the content. It simply executes it. Hence the urgent need to learn how to word our affirmations correctly. You can prepare a mental prescription as effective as a pharmaceutical formula, but instead of chemicals, you will use 3 spiritual ingredients: a biblical verb that acts as the active principle, a divine attribute that serves as the carrier, a perfect image of health as the desired result. This combination does not fail. It is the eternal prescription used by saints, healers, mystics, and ordinary people, with miraculous results. Let's look at each component in detail. 1. A biblical verb. Scripture contains words charged with archetypal energy. They are not mere ancient phrases, but living codes that resonate with your subconscious. When you say, "By his stripes we are healed," Isaiah 53:5, you are not speaking poetry. You are activating a vibration that can regenerate tissues. When you say, "I am the Lord who heals you," Exodus 15:26, you are reminding your body who has the final word over its condition. Choose a verse that resonates with you and make it the foundation of your prescription. That verse is your direct medical order from the heavenly pharmacy. 2. A divine attribute. Accompany the verb with an attribute of God that enhances its action. It could be love, wisdom, life, peace, order, or strength. Just as in pharmacy an excipient carries the active ingredient, in prayer we use a divine attribute as the carrier. For example, divine life flows through me now. The love of God restores every cell. Eternal wisdom guides my glands. This attribute reinforces the spiritual authority of your word, because you are not praying as one who begs from below, but as one who declares from truth. 3. A perfect image of health. Finally, you need a precise mental image of the result you desire, not a vague idea, but a clear vision of your body in fullness. Visualize yourself running, breathing freely, sleeping without pain, digesting with ease, smiling with vitality. This image acts as the blueprint your subconscious begins to replicate. Do not say, "I want to be well." Say, "I already see myself well." Imagine your blood circulating joyfully, your skin regenerating, your heart beating with majestic rhythm. The more vivid the image, the more effective the result. Your word is the command, your emotion is the engine, your image is the mold. A healing mental prescription. Key verse. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. 3 John 1:2. Affirmation. Divine life flows through my body like a river of light. Every cell listens and obeys the voice of truth. My stomach is at peace. My heart is strong. My skin shines with health. Thank you, Father, for it is already done. Administration schedule, 7 a.m. upon waking, standing with your back straight. 12:30 p.m. before lunch, sitting in silence for 2 minutes. 10 p.m. before sleeping, lying in bed with slow breathing. This formula can be adapted to each case. If it is a vision problem, change the image and the verb. If it is a nervous condition, incorporate words like peace, tranquility, harmony. What matters is that you maintain the pattern, biblical verb, divine attribute, healthy image. As a good pharmacist of the soul, you can prepare different formulas for each need. Never underestimate the power of this practice. I recall the case of an elderly man who had almost completely lost mobility in his hands due to rheumatoid arthritis. I taught him to recite 3 times a day. My hands are filled with the creative strength of God. Every joint obeys the principle of freedom. I can open and close my fingers with joy. He visualized his hands working in the garden. In 3 weeks, he had regained 70% of his mobility. In 3 months, he was digging the earth with a shovel. His spiritual pharmacy had taken effect. Do the same. Choose your word. Repeat your dose. Skip no session. Believe that what you affirm is already reality, for in the deep mind, time does not exist. There, everything is eternal present. When you pray saying, I am, you are speaking the language of the Spirit. Do not say, I will be healthy. Say, I am healthy now. That is the formula that opens the bottle of miracles. Chapter 4. Visualization therapy for healthy tissues. Just as an architect does not build a house without blueprints, your subconscious mind does not rebuild your body without images. The image is the order that directs the vital intelligence. If you see sickness, weakness, or deterioration, that is the plan your subconscious receives. But if you project health, perfection, and vitality, then it sets out to reproduce that form. It cannot do otherwise because its function is to obey what you visualize with emotion. Our Lord said, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. John 3:6. This teaching is profoundly scientific. Everything you create with the spiritual mind, the spirit of health, the image of perfection, the vision of harmony, materializes as a living form in the flesh. Visualization is not fantasy, it is creation. It is the practical way to translate invisible thought into visible substance. In this chapter, you will learn to apply the law of directed imagery as a specific treatment for organs, tissues, and bodily functions. This method requires no physical tools, only 3 elements: an open mind, a willing imagination, and a few minutes of daily silence. Anyone can do it, and the results have been extraordinary. But you must be precise. It is not enough to merely wish for health. You must form a clear mental movie, detailed in color and motion with sensation, as if it were already happening inside you. The human body is a regenerative system. Every cell has coded instructions for renewal. Your skin renews every 28 days, your intestines every week, your blood every 120 days. But if you maintain an image of deterioration, that order overrides the natural rhythm of regeneration. This is why so many people remain ill despite having active cellular replacement systems, because their inner screen keeps projecting disease. The solution is simple. Change the movie, change the image, install a new model in your mind. The subconscious will copy it. Just as a technician follows an engineering blueprint, your body follows the design you present to it mentally. Luminous screen exercise. Duration 6 minutes. Preparation, sit quietly. Turn off distractions, close your eyes. Breathe deeply 3 times. Visualize a white screen in front of you, like a sheet of light suspended in the air. This screen is your inner laboratory. Acknowledging the affected organ, think of the part of your body that needs healing. For example, the stomach. Calmly visualize its current state as you know or sense it. Don't be afraid if it appears inflamed, reddened, or weakened. It is only an image. Do not reject it. Observe it with compassion. Then mentally say goodbye to it. Thank you for showing me your state. Now I release this image. Replacing with a healthy model. Now project the same organ but perfect. Imagine the gastric mucosa whole, smooth, moist, with a natural pink color. See it moving rhythmically, without spasms, processing food with ease. If it is collagen that needs regeneration, visualize a network of fibers rebuilding, reuniting tissues, restoring elasticity to the skin or joint. If it is the knees, Imagine the cartilage as healthy, firm sponges, cushioning without friction. Use familiar images: a clear river, a flexible spring, a silk fabric, alpha rhythm state. While holding that image, let your mind slow down. Let your breathing become calm. This state is called alpha, a brainwave frequency close to sleep. Here, suggestions enter without resistance. It is the fertile ground of the subconscious. At this moment, affirm softly, or mentally if others are around, "This is my inner reality." Every cell copies this image. I am health. I am renewal. Closing, let the image fade into the light. Smile. Say, "Thank you, Father, for it is already done." Open your eyes slowly. Drink some water if you wish. Return to your activities. Repeat this exercise twice a day, upon waking and before sleeping, when your mind is naturally receptive. You may also use schematic illustrations of organs. Place them over your chest, close your eyes, and mentally paint them with colors of life. The subconscious responds to symbols. Coloring an image with intention can be more effective than repeating 100 phrases without emotion. Examples: a woman with colitis visualized her intestine as a soft channel of light. She saw the folds smoothing out, the inflammation disappearing, a current of warm water cleansing everything. After 10 days, the spasms stopped. A young man with skin lesions repeated, "My skin breathes health." He visualized the epidermal layers closing, as if a protective film were sealing them from within. He replaced the image of damaged skin with that of fresh, radiant skin. In 1 month, the improvement was evident. A man with back pain imagined his spine as a pillar of blue light. He saw each vertebra gliding gently over the other, supported by the energy of God. He replaced the image of burden with that of a flexible axis. In 6 weeks, he was lifting boxes without pain. These are not fantasies, they are directed instructions. They are energetic blueprints that the body copies with perfect obedience. Because, I repeat, the image is the order, and the subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Haven't you ever felt chills just by watching a horror movie? Haven't you felt your heart race by imagining an argument? Your body responds to what you see inside, so why not use that law to heal? Visualize health and you will have health. Imagine healthy tissues and your body will rebuild them. Visualization is the surgery of the soul. It requires no scalpel, yet penetrates deeper than any instrument. Use it with faith, with method, with gratitude, and you will see your cells begin to behave exactly as you see them in your mental sanctuary. Chapter 5. Organ by organ treatments. Every illness has a spiritual correspondence, an emotional root, and a mental form. There is no ailment without an inner cause. This is a truth that spiritual medicine has known since ancient times, and which even some modern studies now confirm. Each organ is a living symbol of a psychic function. The stomach digests ideas, the heart distributes love, the lungs expand freedom, the skin marks the boundary with the world, the bones support convictions. When one of these systems is disturbed, it is not only due to toxins, viruses, or physical fatigue. There is also a mental imbalance behind it. Therefore, integral healing requires treating the organ with specific words, images, and prayers. Just as a doctor prescribes different compounds for different conditions, you must apply distinct mental protocols according to the affected system. Below, I present detailed treatments for 5 main systems: digestive, respiratory, cardiovascular, skin, and the osteoarticular system. Each treatment includes the most common symptom, its probable mental cause, a healing phrase for daily autosuggestion, a specific visualization. These exercises should be practiced regularly, preferably at the same times, to allow the subconscious to register and execute the pattern. Digestive system, common symptom, gastric ulcer. Typical mental cause, chronic fear, anxiety over control, need to please. Biblical verse, "Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for you are my praise." Jeremiah 17:14. Healing phrase, "I trust in life. My stomach processes every experience calmly. I am safe." Specialized visualization. Imagine your stomach as a serene lake. Visualize the gastric walls regenerating as if covered by a silky fabric. Watch as acidic secretions balance out and a golden light fills the entire stomach cavity. Repeat, "My digestion is peace in motion." Respiratory system. Common symptom, asthma or difficulty breathing. Typical mental cause, fear of expressing emotions, oppression by a hostile environment, feeling trapped. Biblical verse, "The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life." Job 33:4. Healing phrase, "I breathe freedom, every breath is a blessing. I am open to life." Specialized visualization. Imagine your lungs as wings that expand. Visualize each bronchus opening like a flower in the sun. Feel fresh, clean spiritual air entering and all old, tense, dark air leaving. Imagine a soft breeze cleansing your chest. Affirm, "My breathing is harmony and expansion." Cardiovascular system. Common symptom, hypertension or tachycardia. Typical mental cause, excessive worry, tension over control, difficulty forgiving. Biblical verse, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you." Ezekiel 36:26. Healing phrase, "My heart beats with divine love. I forgive and am forgiven. I relax in God." Specialized visualization. Visualize your heart as a rose gently opening. Observe blood flowing with perfect rhythm, like a river of red light. Imagine a waterfall cleansing every vein. Hear its serene pulse like the rhythm of a heavenly song. Repeat, "My circulation is peace in motion. My life flows without resistance." Skin. Common symptoms, eczema, psoriasis, urticaria. Typical mental cause, shame, desire to hide, persistent self-criticism. Biblical verse, "Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow." Psalm 51:7. Healing phrase, "I accept myself as I am. My skin reflects my inner peace. I show myself without fear." Specialized visualization. Imagine the surface of your skin as a luminous field. Visualize cells renewing like flowers blooming with dew. Paint in your mind a clear, smooth, soft color, like living silk. Imagine sunlight caressing your skin, nourishing it without harm. Affirm, "My skin breathes love. I am transparent to good." Osteoarticular system. Common symptoms, arthritis, back pain, joint stiffness. Typical mental cause, retained resentment, emotional inflexibility, resistance to change. Biblical verse, "The Lord protects all his bones, not one of them will be broken." Psalm 34:20. Healing phrase, "I am flexible, I move with freedom. I release the past and embrace the new." Specialized visualization. Visualize your spine as a strong but elastic bamboo stalk. Visualize joints as well-lubricated hinges bathed in golden oil. Imagine them moving gracefully, without crunching or pain. Feel your bones as beams of light. Say, "I am movement in harmony. Every motion is a divine dance." To strengthen consistency, I recommend preparing small organ cards for your pocket. Write on a small card the name of the organ, the healing phrase, and the corresponding verse. Carry it with you all day. Read it whenever you see it. You can keep a box with several and alternate them according to your needs. This simple practice has profound power. By repeating the phrase with intention, you are reprogramming your emotional system. By visualizing the organ in its ideal state, you are reconfiguring your biology. By citing the word, you activate a spiritual vibration that penetrates deeper than any drug. Together, these three elements, word, image, emotion, form a perfect recipe. Remember, the body responds to the word. It is your instrument, not your master. It is designed to obey you. Speak to it, not against it. Direct your organs as a conductor directs his orchestra, and you will see the symphony of your health begin to play again. Chapter 6. The Word That Heals, Biblical Passages as Remedies. The spoken word is not just any sound. It is a vibration with direction. It is energy shaped by thought and sent into space with a purpose. When that word is inspired by divine intelligence, as happens with passages from the Holy Scriptures, its healing power multiplies. We are not talking about mere literature, but living principles that resonate in matter, harmonize the nervous system, and penetrate tissues like an invisible balm. Those who read the Bible with faith aloud in a meditative tone are practicing one of the oldest and most effective forms of spiritual medicine, the therapy of the Word. This practice is not a modern invention. The Hebrew people knew it and used it with reverence. Psalms were recited in the temple as part of the treatment for soul and body. Each verse had a precise rhythm, a cadence that synced with breath, pulse, and the listener's inner vibration. In that context, the Word was not a silent reading, but a sound wave that activated specific regions of the body. Science of the time was unaware of this, but spiritual wisdom intuited it clearly. When you pronounce a biblical passage aloud, something happens in your system. The vocal cords vibrate, yes, but beyond that, your energy field reorganizes. The body region associated with the verse's theme begins to receive a signal. It is not magic, it is vibrational physics applied to biology through faith. Your voice, sustained with intention, becomes medicine. The method is simple but requires discipline. Reading once is not enough. It is necessary to repeat, to let the word descend into the body like a gentle rain. For this reason, I propose a 21-day program. For 3 weeks, you will apply a specific therapeutic reading aloud, slowly, feeling each word like a drop falling on the affected area. This is a treatment. It demands attention, consistency, and inner silence, but the fruits justify the effort. Instructions for healing reading. Selection of the verse. Choose a passage related to the organ or system you want to treat. Below you will find a guiding list. It is not restrictive. You can use other texts that inspire you. Body position. Sit upright with feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring your attention to the affected body area. Place your hand there if possible. Slow reading. Pronounce the verse 3 times in a calm tone without haste. Let each word resonate. Do not read as one who informs, but as one who declares an inner truth. Perception of the echo. While reading, notice if you feel warmth, tingling, expansion, or relief in the involved body area. That is the energetic response. Do not force it. Just notice its presence. Gratitude. At the end, say, "Thank you, Father, for your word is life for my body." Breathe deeply. Remain silent for a few seconds. Daily repetition. Do this once in the morning and once before sleeping. 21 consecutive days. This frequency allows deep reprogramming. List of verses by body region. Bones. The Lord protects all his bones, not one of them will be broken. Psalm 34:20. Ideal for fractures, osteoporosis, bone weakness. Blood. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. Leviticus 17:11. Applicable for anemia, circulatory problems, deep fatigue, nerves. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. For anxiety, insomnia, tremors, neuralgia. Heart. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. For hypertension, palpitations, arrhythmias, emotional blockage. Lungs. The breath of life blew into his nostrils and he became a living being. Genesis 2:7. For asthma, bronchitis, feelings of oppression. Stomach and intestines. The Lord sustains them on their sickbed and restores them from their bed of illness. Psalm 41:3. For ulcers, gastritis, irritable colon. Skin. My flesh is renewed like the child's. I am restored to the days of my youth. Job 33:25. Applicable for allergies, psoriasis, dryness, spots. Complete application example. A woman with eczema on her arms chose the verse from Job. My flesh is renewed like the child's. She read it every morning with her hands resting on her forearms. While reciting, she imagined her skin renewing itself. She practiced for 3 minutes. In the 3rd week, she noticed itching decreased. In the 4th, her skin began to clear. She did not change her diet or medication. She only applied the word with faith and consistency. Her word was the remedy. Do not underestimate the power of this exercise. If human words can wound or heal a heart, how much more can divine words spoken consciously do? The word does not fade, does not expire, does not lose effect. It is an eternal seed, and by speaking it with faith, you become a sower of health within your own body. The tongue is a tree of life, says Scripture, Proverbs 15:4. Use it as such. Do not use it to complain, accuse, or repeat gloomy diagnoses. Use your mouth as a channel of blessing. Your voice is your medicine, and when you pronounce the word, you connect with the very source of regeneration. Chapter 7. Clinical Stories of Triumphant Faith. The laws of the mind are universal. They operate whenever they are applied correctly. Just as the law of gravity does not discriminate between the wise and the foolish, rich or poor, believers or skeptics. If you plant an idea with emotion and persistence in the fertile ground of the subconscious, you will harvest its result. There are no exceptions. This is the foundation of all spiritual treatment. But for this truth not to remain abstract, it is necessary to illustrate it with real cases, concrete experiences of people who put into practice the principles taught here and obtained tangible results. Below, I present 3 documented case studies with dates, symptoms, prayers used, and recorded progress. Each story is living proof that the mind, allied with faith and the Word, can produce healing where medical science found no immediate solution. It is not about replacing the doctor, but activating the inner doctor. It is not about denying the symptom, but reprogramming its cause. Case 1. Peptic ulcer healed in 14 days. Patient Mrs. M, 46 years old, accountant. Symptom: acute epigastric pain, nausea, constant heartburn. Diagnosis confirmed by endoscopy: gastric ulcer. Start of mental treatment: March. Prescribed prayer: the peace of God reigns in my stomach. Carcerella listens to its voice, all bitterness disappears. I digest life with love. Base verse: heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Jeremiah 17:14. Progress: day 1 onwards. The burning persisted, but the patient reported slight relief after the prayer. Days 4 to 7. Heartburn decreased by 60%. Antacids were stopped by personal decision with no setbacks. Days 8 to 12, pain almost absent. Deeper sleep. Added visualization of pink, smooth gastric mucosa. Day 14, no symptoms. Patient reported, I feel my body obeys me. I'm not afraid to eat. Conclusion: the ulcer fully remitted. A follow-up endoscopy at 30 days confirmed healing. The key was disciplined repetition and the conscious substitution of the image of irritation with that of digestive peace. Case 2. Hand arthritis remitted in 6 weeks. Patient Mr. G, 58 years old, retired mechanic. Symptom: pain and swelling in phalanges and knuckles. Morning stiffness. Diagnosis: mild rheumatoid arthritis. Start of mental treatment: May 5th. Prescribed prayer: my hands are full of divine strength. Each joint moves freely. I forgive and I am free. Base verse: the Lord protects all his bones. Psalm 34:20. Progress: weeks 1 to 2. Stiffness persisted, but he began writing his prayer 3 times a day as a manual exercise. Week 3, swelling decreased noticeably. Added visualization of cartilage as a flexible sponge lubricated by golden light. Weeks 4 to 5. Began playing guitar again, an activity abandoned years ago. Pain nearly gone. Week 6, no visible swelling. He declared, now I know my hands respond to what I tell them. Conclusion: the root emotion was unspoken resentment toward a son. By forgiving, he released muscular and joint tension. Visualization and the Word activated the regenerative process. Case 3, childhood eczema disappeared. Patient N, 8-year-old boy. Symptom: eczema on neck and arms. Nighttime itching, cracked skin. Dermatological treatment unsuccessful for 6 months. Spiritual intervention by mother. Start of treatment, August 18th. Prayer used by mother: the skin of my child is a reflection of divine peace. His body listens to love. All that is old dissolves. He is incarnate light. Base verse: wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. Psalm 51:7. Progress: days 1 to 5. The mother placed her hand on the child's neck every night and softly recited the prayer. Days 6 to 10. Itching decreased. The child began sleeping more peacefully. Days 11 to 15. Skin less inflamed. Used visualization, asking him to imagine a blue light caressing his skin. Day 21. Soft skin, no crusts or cracks. The mother stated, I never imagined prayer could heal the skin. Conclusion: in this case, the child absorbed emotional tensions from the home. The mother's constant prayer and changed attitude created a favorable internal and external environment for healing. Key factors to reproduce results: absolute consistency. Each case involved daily practice without interruption. The subconscious mind needs repetition to assimilate new commands. Focused emotion. It was not about mechanical repetition of phrases. Emotional charge and feeling of truth were essential. Precise visualization. Each case introduced a specific mental image of health, directing creative energy. Recognition of root emotion. Forgiveness, letting go of the past, and releasing embedded tensions were indispensable. There is no true health without emotional cleansing. Use of the biblical word. The spiritual power of the verses accelerated the process. The word not only instructs, but transmutes. These stories are not miracles in a magical sense. They are natural expressions of mental laws applied with faith. Any reader anywhere in the world can replicate these results by following the steps with discipline and openness. There are no incurable cases for the creative mind. There are minds that have yet to activate their power, but once they do, everything changes. You can be the next living testimony. Your body awaits the orders you will give it today. Chapter 8. Renewed Vigor. Overcoming Chronic Fatigue. Physical exhaustion is not an accident of the body. It is a clear sign that your inner purpose is blocked, that your mental energies do not flow freely because the conscious mind dominates the deeper mind. So chronic fatigue, that persistent tiredness that even rest does not resolve, comes from an internal dissonance between what you need to do and what your deeper mind believes is possible. When your divine purpose is hindered, the body becomes sluggish. Modern medicine calls this fatigue syndrome, but spiritual medicine understands it as a lack of harmony between your conscious will and the power of your inner creative reservoir. Isaiah expresses it clearly, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Isaiah 40:31. Waiting on the Lord is not passive waiting. It is a mental attitude in which you place total trust in that invisible power that renews everything. It is not a vague promise, but a spiritual law. When you enter that mode, you receive new vigor. Your body reflects it. To activate this restorative energy, I present a protocol for healing rest at night, along with daytime practices that reprogram your vital system. You don't need machines or costly supplements. You need mental discipline, conscious breathing, and creative affirmation. Nighttime protocol for inducing healing rest. Before going to bed, turn off all strong lights, avoid screens, and create a serene environment. Rest your right hand on your chest and your left hand on your abdomen. Your nighttime affirmation: divine life fills my dreams. Every cell rests and regenerates. Upon waking, I am light, alert, alive with purpose. While mentally repeating this 3 times, listen to an ancient psalm on phonograph or a recording that mimics the slow cadence of Hebrew psalms. If you don't have a recording, mentally recite it. Let your mind sink into rest as you imagine a golden river of life enveloping you. Sleep with that sensation. This ritual before sleep impregnates the deep mind. The subconscious mind works during your sleep to reorganize your cellular rhythms. Rest restores your energy because the mental power statements continue working as you sleep. This inner medicine never expires. Brief self-hypnosis at noon. Between 12 and 2 p.m., find a quiet position, close your eyes and breathe deeply in cycles. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 16 seconds, exhale 8 seconds, repeat for 2 minutes. Then mentally say, "Each breath fills my body with spiritual prana." This prana is the vital energy, the divine breath that reorders your energy field. When finished, return slowly, stretch, and surrender to a state of renewed alertness. This practice breaks the cycle of post-meal drowsiness and brings mental clarity. Morning energy affirmation. Upon waking, before getting up, repeat the prayer: "Today I run with strength, fly weightless, walk without tiring. Jesus lives in me. Divine energy drives me." Say it softly 3 times, breathing consciously. If possible, place your hand over your heart as you say it. Feel each heartbeat transmit a surge of renewed vigor. These 3 pillars, night ritual, midday self-hypnosis, and morning affirmation, form a complete system to restore your vitality. It's not about resting. It's about recharging. It's not about avoiding commitments. It's about rebirth. In several documented clinical cases, people who spent years in a state of decline recovered with this method. After 2 weeks, mental clarity improved. After 1 month, they returned to their activities enthusiastically, without painkillers or stimulants, just conscious breathing and believing word. The key is to link the affirmation to the emotion of purpose. It's not repeated as, "I'm tired of being tired." It is declared as, "I am awake, strong, free." That is the right dose for the deep mind. The responsibility of your vocation is not fulfilled with borrowed energy, but with energy generated from within. I insist, use this method daily, without interruption, like a doctor who gives exact medicine at fixed times. Chronic fatigue is not overcome by improvised rest, but by conscious reprogramming. When you eliminate purpose blockages, the person becomes a living conduit of divine purpose. Wings like eagles, as Isaiah says. Your vigor is not lost. Your purpose is not dead. It is sleeping in the creative reservoir. Bring it to life with your word, your breath, and your faith. You slept poorly, but upon waking you can be another. You can live with purpose, passion, and energy. Your body is designed to operate as a temple of God's living substance. Don't settle for less. Chapter 9, Mental Hygiene, How to Sterilize Doubt. Just as a surgeon does not operate without gloves, you cannot undertake a healthy spiritual life without protecting your mind from the infections of doubt. Doubt is not a simple hesitation. It is a mental virus. an invisible bacteria that contaminates faith, paralyzes action, and nullifies the results of spiritual treatment. You may have planted a perfect idea, repeated your affirmation precisely, visualized your ideal health, but if you allow doubt to enter, that doubt will act as a toxic antidote, and the fruit will wither before it is born. Ephesians warns you, above all, take the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one. Ephesians 6:16. In the language of the mind, those flaming darts are sabotaging thoughts, criticism from others, social skepticism, alarming news, hidden mockery. Each carries a negative electromagnetic charge that alters your inner field. If you don't use the shield of faith, that is, if you don't immediately filter and cancel these mental agents, they infect your belief system. What follows is predictable: loss of enthusiasm, symptom relapse, feelings of uselessness. The patient has not worsened from physical causes. They have been attacked mentally. That is why in every mental clinic, and you already know your subconscious mind is one, there must be a protocol for mental hygiene. Just as the doctor washes their hands before touching the patient, you must clean your thoughts before engaging in prayer. This chapter is an instruction guide to develop that art. You will learn to recognize the most common mental bacteria, cancel them instantly, replace them with affirmations of praise, and seal your field with a simple but powerful technique: the golden circle. First, recognizing contaminating people. Negative phrases don't always come from you. Often they are inherited, repeated by habit, or sown by culture. Below is a table titled List of Mental Bacteria with their affirmative antidotes. Infectious phrase, spiritual antidote. This is incurable. Nothing is impossible for God in me. I've tried everything, and my creative mind discovers new paths. I'm getting worse. Every day my health improves at some level, and it never works for me. My subconscious has already received the correct order. The same thing always happens. I am free to break patterns. I am new now. And if it doesn't work, everything I sow with faith blooms in its time. Do not underestimate the power of these phrases. Although they may seem harmless, they carry destructive charge. One negative affirmation repeated with emotion can undo an entire week of mental treatment. Therefore, the most effective defense is immediate cancellation. As soon as you detect a toxic phrase in your mind or from someone else, say mentally or softly, "I cancel this idea," and replace it with its positive affirmation. Second, substitution with praise. When negative thoughts persist, don't try to fight them. Substitute them. Replace complaint with gratitude prayer. Say, "Thank you, Father, because your energy flows in me now." This praise interrupts the complaint cycle. The mind cannot hold doubt and gratitude simultaneously. They are incompatible frequencies. Praise is the strongest disinfectant against the virus of discouragement. Third, the golden circle technique. Every morning before leaving, practice this symbolic act. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Imagine a golden circle around you, like a halo of light completely surrounding you. Say, "I am sealed with the gold of faith. No foreign thought penetrates this circle. Only good reaches me." This simple exercise acts as a mental shield. Your subconscious receives the order to reject negative interference. Several of my listeners have reported feeling less affected by external criticism and more centered inside after practicing this technique. Illustrative case. A young student preparing for minor surgery wrote to me worried. Although he repeated his affirmation, "My body cooperates with the surgeon and everything goes perfectly," his friends bombarded him with phrases like, "What if it doesn't turn out well? I know someone who—" At first he laughed it off, but then anxiety grew. I instructed him to apply immediate cancellation and quietly declare, "That idea does not enter me. I am a channel of perfect health." I also asked him to use the golden circle before going to the hospital. He wrote back a week later, "I entered in peace. The operation was better than expected. I felt nothing negative touched me." Doubt is contagious, but so is faith. Every thought you tolerate without filtering becomes part of your inner atmosphere. That is why you must choose your mental company with the same rigor as you choose your food. Just as you wouldn't eat food with visible mold, you should not accept thoughts with residues of fear. The subconscious does not distinguish between "it's a joke" and "it's a belief." It receives everything as truth if accompanied by emotion. Use your mental gloves in every conversation, every reading, every exposure to media. Review your informational environment. Would you allow a doctor to operate with contaminated hands? Then why allow your mind to operate your health with contaminating ideas? You are the guardian of your inner clinic. Your word is the filter, your attention is the door, your faith is the shield, and your responsibility is to maintain mental hygiene every day. Remember, doubt is the soul's disease. Clean it and health will flourish. Do it today. Chapter 10. The Progress Journal, Spiritual Statistics. Recording your healing is not a mere exercise of curiosity. It is a powerful tool that anchors in both your conscious and subconscious mind the certainty of change. When you quantify your pain, your mobility, your energy, or the texture of your skin, you are not being cold or numerical. You are creating tangible evidence that your word and your faith are working in your body. Spiritual statistics is a discipline that has transformed lives because it turns the invisible into visible records and strengthens certainty. The prophet Habakkuk states it clearly. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. Habakkuk 2:2. You must write your vision of health, make it visible so your mind reads it every day and integrates it with conviction. That is why I present a simple, accessible method that anyone can do by hand without electronic devices. It is a tracking sheet that you update daily. Every week you review it, give thanks, and record adjustments. If a setback appears, don't interpret it as failure, but as a sign of opportunity. There you adjust your affirmation, clear retained emotions, or reinforce your visualization. The structure of the sheet is clear. A table with these columns, date, main symptom, index from 1 to 10, where 1 means total absence of symptoms and 10 means maximum discomfort, affirmation used, progress observed, and action taken. Each day you record one line, even if brief. For example, July 14th, back pain 6, my back is strong, flexible, and happy. Less intense sensation upon waking. Thank you for the improvement. This table serves 3 essential functions. First, it makes you responsible for your process. Second, it allows your subconscious mind to perceive the progression as real because it reads it in your own handwriting. Third, it provides evaluation moments to adjust treatment if necessary. If there is no change for 3 days in a row, it is a sign that you should review your root emotion, intensify visualization, or strengthen the affirmation. Each week, set aside time to review the journal. Add up the indexes, observe low values, good progress. Give thanks mentally and verbally. You can write in the margin, thank you because my spine restructures every day. Tomorrow will be even better. This act of gratitude is not ceremony, it is a decree, a direct connection with the intelligence that executes the programming. You must also learn to handle setbacks. If one day the index rises, stronger pain, lower energy, do not blame yourself. Don't think you are regressing. Think that this is part of the adjustment. Check your sheet and see if the affirmation was correct, if the visualization was done with emotion, if doubt was allowed to infiltrate. Then reprogram. Change the affirmation if you feel it has become automatic mentality. Release unexpressed anguish and say, today I return to my highest point. Thank you because every return brings me closer to fullness. Periodically, each month, review all the weeks and observe trends. If you perceive constant improvement, congratulate yourself, kneel, and give thanks. If there is fluctuation, be patient but persistent. In that weekly review act, you make an act of faith. You reaffirm yourself as one who sees the invisible. This method was used by a patient with chronic psoriasis. She started with a daily index of 8. After 3 weeks of consistently following affirmations and visualizations, her index dropped to 3. After 3 months, it was 1. She recorded everything in her sheet, saw the progression, and felt faith grow. When a small flare appeared in week 4, she did not panic, recorded a 4, and reviewed her affirmation. My skin breathes love. I am transparent to good. She decided to strengthen it. In 2 days, she returned to index 2. This conscious management transformed a possible setback into confirmation that the internal process was working correctly. Your progress journal is your evidence, your emotional support, your constant reinforcement. Do not let it become routine without attention. Keep it alive. Review it with the emotion of one who observes life and rebirth. In this practice, you generate double benefit. You connect with God who works and recalibrate your own mental focus. Remain attentive, conscious, and grateful. Your faith does not need to be imaginary. It can be numerical, precise, solid. And when you see month after month how the trends improve, your conscious mind no longer doubts. It has seen the invisible manifest. That is the victory of spiritual statistics. It turns subjective faith into objective certainty. That certainty moves cells, heals tissues, renews purposes. You are witness, you are living statistics, and healing is in your hands and spirit. Chapter 11. Collective prayer sessions and correspondence. The individual mind is powerful, but when several minds align with the same intention, the result is not addition, but multiplication. This is not spiritual rhetoric, but a mental law confirmed in hundreds of cases I have witnessed. Where two or more gather with a constructive purpose, the presence of healing power is amplified, results accelerate, and the feeling of community strengthens weakened faith. Jesus stated this with absolute clarity. Again I say to you, if two of you agree on earth about anything they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where two or three are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Matthew 18:19-20. This principle is the foundation of what we will call the mental clinic circle. A small group of people, no more than 8, who meet regularly in a home, office, or community room to carry out guided prayer, uplifting reading, sharing testimonies, and mutual strengthening in the practice of mental techniques. This is not about doctrinal discussion or emotional worship. It is a practical session aimed at healing and fulfilling the objectives each member presents as a precise request. For those who cannot meet physically, I propose the prayer letter system, a spiritual correspondence that operates by vibrational affinity. Just as the ancients sent messages in bottles hoping they would be found, you will send your declaration of faith to another circle member, knowing that they will also receive it as medicine. It is not just paper, it is directed energy. Instructions to form a mental clinic circle. A call invites like-minded people with spiritual interest. Their religious denomination does not matter, but their willingness to mental work does, preferably committed people who understand the seriousness of the method. Meeting structure, 1 hour weekly. First 10 minutes, preparatory silence. Each person quietly repeats their personal affirmation. Next 15 minutes, reading a verse and brief explanation of its mental application. Then 20 minutes, guided prayer. Names and needs of absent members are mentioned and decreed together. We visualize the person as already healed. We see their clear skin. We feel their joy. Thank you, God. Last 15 minutes, sharing progress. Each member declares a concrete improvement, even minimal, and all give thanks in unity. Basic ethical guidelines, total confidentiality. No shared information can be repeated outside the circle. No payment. No member receives remuneration or gives private consultations. Absolute respect. Criticism, comparison, proselytizing, or religious disputes are avoided. Prayer letter system. For those who cannot attend in person, each week you write a brief letter to another designated member, rotating among the group, including a weekly verse you are using as your spiritual foundation, their specific request written affirmatively. Example: I am grateful that my lungs function in harmony with divine life. A brief progress testimony, however small. A prayer for the other. Example: I declare that you receive health and joy every day. This letter can be sent by mail or, if time and resources permit, by voice recording, respecting the original spirit. Sincere connection without commercialization or dependence. The testimony of many confirms the power of this system. In 1952, a group of women in Southern California organized such a circle for a mother with uterine cancer. For 21 days, they prayed collectively and sent letters with healing verses. By the 4th week, her pain decreased. After 2 months, the biopsy showed remission. The doctor, baffled, said, "I don't understand what happened." She replied, "It's because my sisters prayed as if I were already healed." That is the secret. Declaring the fact before it manifests, in a group with unified emotion. This principle is as old as it is effective. In ancient synagogues, the community gathered to read psalms for the sick's health. Each voice was a brick of faith. Today you can replicate that model from your home with people in your environment, or even by correspondence. Do not underestimate the power of a small, determined group. Jesus did not choose crowds. He chose 12, then 3, and the world changed. The energy of united prayer breaks walls, fuses hearts, activates the universal mind. When you pray for another and another prays, a circuit of light forms. This current is unbroken if there is sincerity. The giver receives and the one who blesses is blessed. Therefore, organize your circle, establish your correspondence. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Start with 2, and where there are 2, the presence manifests. Chapter 12, in the Permanent Clinic, Maintaining Health in Cycles. True health is not an event, but a habit. It is not enough to heal a specific symptom if the mind then returns to emotional disorder, spiritual neglect, and the automatic repetition of old ideas. The body, like any sensitive instrument, requires constant tuning. The soul, like any garden, needs daily planting, monthly pruning, and seasonal harvesting. Therefore, this final chapter is dedicated to establishing a continuous structure, a permanent clinic that you can maintain throughout the year, regardless of your circumstances. Just as Moses, at 120 years old, had not lost his eyesight, nor had his strength diminished. Deuteronomy 34:7. You too can retain clarity and vigor until the last day of your life. The key is conscious prevention, turning spiritual and mental care into a daily practice, a renewed commitment each month, and a broadening vision each season. This approach moves you away from urgency and emotional patchwork, leading you to a life of deep, consistent, and elevated health. The first pillar is the annual plan of 365 brief prayers. You can build it with verses, affirmations, and declarations of purpose, one for each day, written in a notebook or wall calendar. Each morning before speaking to another person, you say your daily prayer. Examples: January 5th, today my mind is clear, my heart is light, my body responds to inner harmony. March 21st, thank you because every cell blooms with the energy of God dwelling in me. July 14th, I forgive, I release, I heal, I do not carry others' burdens. Today I am new. October 2nd, my vision expands, my ideas align, wisdom guides me in every decision. These small doses are spiritual vaccines. They strengthen your mental immune system against the erratic influences of the environment. The second pillar is the monthly self-examination of conscience. On the last day of each month, set aside 30 minutes to answer 3 questions. In what area of my body did I notice signs or tension? What emotion dominated my thoughts this month? What idea do I want to plant for the next 30 days? Write your answers. You don't need someone else to evaluate you. Your own sincerity is enough. Then choose a guiding affirmation for the next month. For example, if you felt gastric irritability, you could decree, my digestion is peaceful, I process life with serenity. That statement becomes your daily focus. The third pillar is the quarterly renewal of goals. Each season change, equinox or solstice, take an inner retreat. You don't need to travel. Just choose a quiet day, reduce external stimuli, and focus on 3 goals: physical, mental, and spiritual. For example, in spring you might say, physical, walk 20 minutes daily. Mental, study 1 chapter of Proverbs each week. Spiritual, strengthen forgiveness toward a loved one. And so on each season, adjusting according to your natural rhythms, age, environment, and occupation. The important thing is that the subconscious mind receives clear, periodic, and repetitive signals because it operates through repetition and responds better to rhythm than to isolated impact. To facilitate this, I include the table of the 12 gates of the year where you can note your monthly goals on each level: physical, mental, spiritual. January, daily breathing, uplifting reading, daily gratitude. February, conscious hydration, emotion journal, release of the past. March, morning walk, guided visualization, declaration of purpose. April, stretching, gentle complaint reduction, inner silence. May, light nutrition, writing affirmations, listening to psalms. June, medical checkup, biography reading, service to others. July, nap, brief digital fast, meditation on love. August, sugar elimination, thought cleansing, collective prayer. September, posture review, toxic phrase elimination, reconnection with symbols. October, sunbaths, Bible study, forgiveness review. November, natural supplements, inspired writing, voice cultivation. December, night walks, year evaluation, blessing plan. This calendar is not rigid but a flexible guide. If you follow it consistently, your inner clinic will function with permanent efficiency. You will no longer depend on peaks of faith or emotional urgencies. You will be doctor and patient, architect and inhabitant, channel and vessel. Finally, to seal your annual practice, I recommend the comprehensive blessing. Once a week, Sundays I suggest, place yourself at rest, close your eyes and say firmly, I bless my body, my mind, my spirit. Each organ receives divine order. Each thought aligns with peace. Each emotion serves the purpose of good. I am whole, I am healthy, I am in God. This act is not symbolic, it is spiritual pharmacy. Your word generates vibration. That vibration modifies tissues. That modification creates health. I conclude this book with a certainty. You are the custodian of a clinic that never closes. It does not depend on schedules or budgets. It is within you, functions by faith, activates with the word, and strengthens with loving repetition. Take care of it, use it, expand it. And when another is sick, remind them. You too have a clinic in your soul. Open it. The inner physician awaits you.